we have a really wonderful offering for our virtual health and wellness forums. So tonight's presentation is called It's Your Self-Advocacy Journey. And this presentation is done by Alan with support of Sue regarding the Self-Advocacy Association of New York State, so also known as SANYS. And the hope is that Alan's going to be able to give you some information about the power of joining your voice with others and supporting each other to make a difference in this world together. So just a little information about Alan. Alan is a college graduate, AmeriCorps alumni who has worked for SANYS since 2008, helping to start and support self-advocacy groups. Alan loves his family and friends, video games, and helping people learn about their rights and giving folks advice based on his own personal experience. And then along with Alan, we have Sue O'Hearn-Webb, who is the SANYS Finger Lakes Regional Coordinator. So Sue is a previous business owner, mom of 3, grandmother of 6, who is blessed to work for SANYS and joins Alan in helping start and support self-advocacy groups. Sue loves her family and friends, lakes, nature, and helping and supporting people to share their life experiences so we can all live in a better world together. So before I hand things over to Alan and Sue, I just want to give everybody a couple of reminders. There will absolutely be a time for people to share, so you'll be able to come off mute, or you can type in the chat box if you're more comfortable doing that. But please keep yourself muted until that time frame. We will make sure that you definitely know when you are able to add anything in, but we absolutely encourage you to speak up and ask any questions that you might have along the way. Otherwise, we are ready to start to learn more about SANYS. So Alan, feel free to get started.
I'm Alan Fontaine, grassroots field assistant.
Hi, everybody. I'm Susan O'Hearn-Webb, and I'm the Finger Lakes Regional Coordinator.
The Self-Advocacy Association is a nonprofit organization started by Bernard Carvel. SANYS is a grassroots organization and for people with disabilities, meaning that the organization starts with one person, then 2 people, then 3 people, then it could be a self-advocacy group with a bunch of people. Meaning it could be 1, 2, 3, 4 people in a group of people. Then the leaders of that group can run for the board of directors, and they lead and with support of our administrative director to help lead the SANYS board, that helps lead and supports our mission and our regions and our work we do.
So it starts with the self-advocate, the individual, and raising their voices, and then coming together with others to talk about similar issues, joining maybe a self-advocacy group to try and get some work done around those issues. And then those leaders can then run for the SANYS Board of Directors and help run our statewide association, run for people with developmental disabilities.
Yep.
So that's kind of what we call our grassroots of our organization.
Yes.
Cool.
The SANYS, the self-advocacy mission, we help people speak up for themselves and others. Most definitely do. The Self-Advocacy Association help start and support self-advocacy groups. Meaning if you just call or want a phone group started by, you can call me, Sue, or even say, hey, we need a video conference. Or you can ask Tracy, I think it is. Hey, we got similar common things we want to talk about. We want to go out in the community. We want to move out. We want to go to the Special Olympics more often. We want to do common things. We want to just hang out, go to the community. We can help start that group.
Great. So we have to remember, we're talking with people maybe from all across the state, maybe not just our area. What do they
We
do
got
with-
different regions. There's a total of 6 of them in this that SANYS does cover.
And so how does somebody, if they had an interest, they've got
They
an
can
idea,
reach out to the regional coordinators,
okay? And how do they find the regional coordinator?
SANYS.org.
We have a website, SANYS.org. Awesome.
Presentations that self-advocates like myself present. The self-advocacy groups, schools, which we have done to high schools, colleges, different agencies that we've done to the Center for Disability Rights,
Mhm.
Center for Disability, Office of Disabilities, OPDD.
OPWDD.
Yeah,
What do we do for them?
the new hire training. Prime care, we've done new hire training for prime care.
Great.
Faith groups, if they ask us to come out to them.
So if somebody had an interest in having us come and talk about, something, we have a training called SANYS U, which is a really,
A really powerful training that if anybody's ever interested in having us do that, there's a training that really is powerful and helps you learn about your rights and responsibilities.
it's like a
The
lead,
history of SANYS.
covers the history of disability rights movement and your one wild, crazy life, all the way through. And yep, I can't agree more, Alan, that's a really great leadership training. So if anybody's interested in participating in that, reach out to your regional coordinator. Again, Alan and I cover the Western New York Finger Lakes region. But if you are in, let's say, New York City,
New York City, Long Island, Capital, Hudson, Lower,
Central,
Central,
yeah, reach out to your coordinator.
coordinators.
And again, you can find that at,
Is SANYS.org.
all right. What else do we do?
Assist with self-advocacy network and arranging regional events, statewide meetings. We have meetings that we do. We have a Western Conference, which is just for the Western region, coming up in June. And that's June 20th.
Mhm.
And that's in Niagara Falls.
Mhm.
And we have a statewide conference that covers the whole state in Albany, New York at the Marriott. We have regional meetings. Each region has their own regional meeting, which you can get a hold of your regional coordinators at SANYS.org for that information. Ours is always the first Wednesday of the month, unless there's a holiday, of course.
Yep, and those are monthly meetings.
Monthly.
Yeah.
And that's 10:30 to 12 if you're in our region, and 4 to 5:30.
Okay. So Alan, I'm
Yeah.
wondering, like, if somebody wanted to travel from New York City, they've always wanted to come down to Niagara Falls to check it out. It is one of the 7 wonders, right? If you wanted to come and check it out, would they be welcomed at our conference?
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah, if you want to come. You're more than welcome.
It's open to the public.
But each region will have their own regional conference once a year. And then, as Alan said, then we all come together once a year for a statewide event, a statewide conference in Albany. So there's lots of opportunities for people to come and learn more about self-advocacy and meet and new friends and make, meet old friends.
Networking.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So about networking.
It is, yeah.
Advocacy for the system change.
Mhm. Just
6 regions across New York State.
Which we kind of talked about already.
Right.
Yeah.
We have over 150 self-advocacy groups across the state. We've helped bring self-determination to the New York State. Now, personally, this has been very important to me. Does anybody have self-directed? I know I do myself. And it's made a very big change in my life.
So you're saying that, think about it. If you have self-direction, or if you've thought about it, that the Self-Advocacy Association of New York State, or SANYS, which is the acronym for our association, that really SANYS help bring the self-direction to OPWDD to be offered to people.
Yes.
Who can direct their own budgets and have more control over their own life. So that's a really important piece of SANYS advocacy and systemic change.
Changes. And I know it's made a big difference in my life, personally.
Thanks for that testimony. Yeah, that's great.
July 13th, 2010, OMRDD became OPWDD. I know the Self-Advocacy Association was a big advocate for that change. We advocated for many years and spoke up with the self-advocates for that change for many years.
I remember somebody sharing, Alan, that when they hear the MR, that they feel that that's a swear word, that really offended them. And we know that it had offended a lot of people. And so the office that was there for people with developmental disabilities, having MR in the name of the organization, was very offensive. And so, like Alan has shared, SANYS really advocated for that, along with other organizations like the Center for Disability Rights. And eventually on July 13th, 2010, it was signed, the name was changed to the Office for People with Developmental Disabilities. So advocacy has a lot of power. Speaking up for yourself as a self-advocate, but then joining your voices together, it can enact real change.
Right, and if you look, this is actually a picture of the board years ago of directors.
Of SANY's board of directors?
Yes.
Board of directors are in that picture?
Yes, it is.
Excellent.
My name is Josh Derrick. I am a Special Olympic athlete, and I'm also a self-advocate as well. And so I wanted to share with you guys about how SANYS has impacted me with being able to speak up for myself. So, because about 5 years, a little over 5 years ago, I was looking into relocating to the Rochester area from the town that I was living in before, and I wanted to chat with my care coordinator and my circle support team to see how to go about with doing that, because it had been a while since I made a big move like that before, and I knew of some things that were out there in the Rochester area, but there's a lot more things though that I didn't know about yet. So I reached out to Susan and Alan for some assistance with that, knowing what was out what was out there in the Rochester area and how I could get myself around the area a bit more. Because the area I was living in before, I used to be part of a really good well, I used to be part of a really great self-advocacy group and a great Special Olympics team. But my two coaches, well, my team's two of my team's three coaches had things happen to them, which one of the coaches retired from the agency that they were working for. And the other coach moved out of the area, so they only left just one coach for a big Special Olympics team. And the agency had been having difficulty with finding a new coach, which both of the coaches left back in 2018. So, and I wanted to continue doing Special Olympics, and I had some other activities that I was involved in over in the Rochester area already, and I wanted to continue doing them because they were important to me, and with where I was living, getting rides back and forth to there was becoming a bit more challenging for me. So I reached out to Susan and to the rest of my circle of support about deciding on relocating to the Rochester area, because my dad was still working out there at the time, and I was already starting to learn how the buses operate out in that area. And so, but yeah, I reached out with Susan and with my circle to go to find a way of combating getting me from where I was living at before out towards the city of Rochester. Because I just, with being where I was before, I felt like I was starting to become a bit disconnected from everybody else, and especially with Special Olympics, because I wanted to continue doing with the sports that I was doing before with Special Olympics, because they were all really special to me. And so, yeah, I reached out to Susan and my circle, and I told them that I wanted to get moving out towards the Rochester area and have some help with finding a new team and some more, and to get reconnected with some of the activities that I was doing once before. And so my circle and my circle of support helped me with doing that, with like finding some place for me to relocate to that was in a neighborhood that I was sharing with Susan and with my circle support team before about the area of the city that I wanted to relocate to. And my care coordinator at the time had found a really great spot for me that was within walking distance from a lot of places that I really enjoyed going to. And Susan told me about, Susan and I think Alan did too, about the paratransit buses that are in the Rochester area and how I could get myself connected with them, and about getting myself around town a bit more. So I wouldn't have to be still relying on other friends to help get me to places. because it's just, yeah, because it's just, I advocated hers to be able to move around in the area alone by myself. Well, on my own in that. So that way I wouldn't have to rely on people to get me around.
Josh,
So I'm very, huh?
I was just going to thank you for sharing some of your self-advocacy journey with everybody, and just ask you, because we're running short on time, just ask you what's something that you really want to leave people with as you share about your self-advocacy journey?
What I would like to leave with people about my self-advocacy journey is that if you're thinking of doing a move like out to a city and that, and you don't really know what else is out there, definitely reach out to SANYS, because they could help connect you with some self-advocacy groups that are in the area, and some resources on maybe how to get yourself around the city that you're looking to relocate to. And two, I mean, SANYS can really help you with getting with learning how to speak up more for yourself, and how to be so that you can become more independent and be able to do more things on your own. But yeah, SANYS has been there for me. They helped me with they have supported me with my move to the Rochester area. Because besides the SANYS, I myself didn't really know a lot of what other groups were out there, and what other resources there are out there in the Rochester area, or how I could even get around town by myself.
Awesome. Josh, thank you so much. I wish we had more time to hear from you. You really are just, thank you so much. We appreciate you, and thank you for sharing your experience with all of us. Real quick, what is the award that you're holding in the picture?
Oh, so the award that I'm holding in the picture is my Self-Advocate of the Year award, which I got that at the SANYS Western/Finger Lakes Regional Conference. And my self-advocacy group called the ARC Alliance, they all nominated me for that award. And I'm very grateful for them for that. Anybody else who nominated me too for that award.
Josh, I know you were copied in on this PowerPoint, so I'm sharing the picture of the group you just talked about, the ARC Alliance Self-Advocacy Group you're part of. So
yes, they are a really great self-advocacy group to be part of. And two, they're an open group, meaning that new members can join our group at any time. All they got to do is just reach out to our advisor and let them know. And so they could get the information from the advisor of when our meetings are, where we meet, and the times of our meeting.
Fantastic. Thanks, Josh. Thanks so much for being here. Good luck with your next activity that you have this evening. I know you got to run pretty soon. We're going to go back.
Well, I'm actually there at my dance studio. I'm actually here at my dance studio. So right, but I mean, I got about 15 more minutes until I got to go into my class.
Yes, but we have to finish. Alan has a lot more information we need to share. So, and then we wanted to have a time to open it up to everybody, remember? So we can hear from everybody. Yeah. The important piece of what we do is we listen to what people say and what's important to them. And so that's we want to be sure to do that. Okay. But thank you again for sharing some personal experience with us.
Yes, absolutely. And so I encourage everybody on the Zoom to go and check out SANYS. Go see what they offer and see how SANYS can help you with speaking up with helping you with speaking up for your needs, like they did with me.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks, Josh. All right, back to Alan.
What is self-advocacy? Self-advocacy is speaking up for yourself.
Mhm.
Oh, that's of course what everybody should be doing, and that is very important to do. Self-advocacy is making your own choices in your life, big and small. The biggest choice I ever made is advocating for the job I have right now. Self-advocacy is learning about your rights and responsibilities and living the way you want, and responsibilities, right? And others do the same. Some people do it differently, but you gotta respect that. Everybody lives and learns differently. They may want to live a different way. Respect that. Self-advocacy is speaking up for others and the heart of what SANYS says. I totally agree with that. That's 100% true.
Thanks, Alan.
Self-advocacy is, let's talk about our rights. You see, it's like a balance. You got to balance your rights. It's sets and balances, responsibilities. You got to balance them. We have the right for health and safety in our homes, relationships, and in the community, meaning that everybody has the right, that right to have healthy relationships in our community, from verbal safety in our homes. It could be anywhere. Verbal abuse, environmental abuse, being verbally abused, safety, meaning your home should be safe for you. Responsibility means you have the responsibility if you're getting abused by anybody, if your house ain't safe, report it. Tell people about it.
So speak up and let people.
Yes. Dignity and respect.
I feel like I just want to say one more thing about the health and safety based on what you brought up, Alan. I think too, speaking up, sometimes it's really scary. So make sure you're talking with somebody you trust. You know, reach out to somebody you have really trusted in the past, but definitely, you know, speak up about it, because you have the right not to have that happening to you. But if you don't speak up about it, sometimes people don't know, and maybe they're not aware. So it is, that responsibility is to make sure people know, but talk to somebody that you know and trust, and reach out to if it's,
Care coordinator, somebody you really trust, people that trust.
and
that
if it is
value.
abuse, you can simply call 911 too and get help with that in that way too. Okay.
Dignity and respect. That is a two-way street, because if you don't give the dignity and you don't give the respect, you will not get that back.
But we have the right to be treated with dignity and
Right.
respect. You're saying it's kind of a two-way street, though. Think about that
Yes.
responsibility. Okay.
Practice the right to practice the religion or the faith of your choice. Remember, some people do not have a religion or faith. So you have to practice it, but you cannot push it. And you have to respect if they have no religion or faith. It's your responsibility to also respect that choice if they have none.
Or whatever they have, right?
Or whatever choice religion there is, their religion is.
Yeah. Okay.
Privacy. Everybody has the right to privacy. You don't want nobody barging in your door, so please ask the staff or who you trust or anybody to knock. the right to a safe environment. That goes back to home and safety, kind of. Them two kind of tie into each other. You want to be safe in your environment because you want to let the staff who trusted people know if you're not safe in your environment.
Okay, so
Because
they could,
if you're not safe, you can let the people that you trust know.
and that could be anything, could be your community that you're in. It could be, you know, the shopping mall that you're going to. If you're feeling like you're not in a safe environment, you have the right to feel safe. And so, as Alan says, speak up to somebody you trust and let people know. And if it is like in a community thing, let's say, I remember back in Buffalo, remember Alan, where the sidewalks were so unsafe and people were having a difficult time getting past a certain area.
Oh yeah, when
Have
we
to walk out on the busy street because they couldn't pass by the sidewalk. And so they joined their voices together and they were able to get that sidewalk fixed. And so people did have a safe environment again in their community because they raised their voices and enacted change.
Exactly. That's why I say like the health and safety and the environment kind of tie in together.
Mhm.
The right to vote. Everybody has the right to vote if they choose. It's a civil right to vote. You have that civil right if you are the 18 years of age. And you choose to use that right. You do not have to choose, vote, but you have that right. And it is your responsibility if you use that right to vote.
So the responsibility, if you choose to vote, right, you have the right to vote. If it's, so you have the responsibility to register to vote, right?
Register, that's what I meant.
If you want to vote, yeah. I knew that's what you meant.
Relationships. Everybody has the right to friendship. So it don't have to be a romantic relationship. It could be just friendships. It could be, hey, I just want to be your friend. It could be hanging out. It don't gotta be romantic.
But it-
Everybody has
could be
relationships.
romantic,
Don't
right?
have to be romantic.
But could it be romantic?
Yes,
Sure.
it could
But
be any
relationships-
type of relationship you want.
Yeah.
Now, this one, you have the right to make the purchases with the money. Now you have to make sure you budget out to make that purchase, making sure you have enough money to make them purchases you want. That is tough for a lot of people, I know.
I know too, yes. So, but we have the right to make purchases with our money, right? And like Alan says, but you got to make sure that you got it. So having a budget's a really good idea, for sure.
To choose where you live in Lake. Now, I made this choice just recently. I chose to move from where I used to live to where I currently live. This is a big choice, and it's a right that everybody has. You have the right to choose where you live and like to live. And if you don't like where you live, you can let your staff, your friends, your care coordinator, people you trust know. And they can suggest, they can help you advocate and speak up on your behalf. To advocate is your voice being heard, and that is very important. Because if you don't speak up and advocate, no one knows what you want.
for time's sake, Alan, let's keep going because we really wanted to get to that activity, the me to we,
Right.
and
I
then
think that's
open
the
it up.
next slide if I'm right.
I think we're close. Yeah.
One or
And
two slides.
it
Yeah, I was
is,
right.
you were right. So Alan asked me to kind of explain what we're going to be doing here. So let's talk about what happens when our voices are joined together. We have an activity that when we go out and talk with our self-advocacy groups, that we'll often do this activity because it helps us really see the power of our voice. Our singular voice is very powerful. And it's really important, right, to speak up about what you need and want. But boy, when you join your powerful voice with other voices, it gets even stronger. And so we have this activity that we'd like to do, and hopefully you'll join in with us. At first, Alan and I are going to do it alone, right? I'll say me individually, and then Alan will say me individually. And then we're going to open up all the mics, and we're going to ask anybody who'd like to participate, they can join in with us on the count of 3, and we'll all say we together, and we'll hear the power of joining our voices together. So here is my powerful voice, me.
Me.
And now we'll count to 3. If we can unmute everybody, anybody who wants to join in, can unmute themselves, or we can hear, maybe we can get some help with that. So in a moment, we're going to count to 3. And if you want to join in, unmute, and we'll all join together. I hear Russell wants to, so I'm going to bring him over. And we're going to count to 3, and we're all going to say we together, and we'll hear how powerful that is. 1, 2, 3.
We.
Wow, did you guys hear that? That was so powerful. So my voice was powerful, Alan's voice was powerful, and we join all of our voices together and it becomes even more powerful. And we can join our voices with others to empower ourselves and make a difference in this world together. Thanks for doing the activity with us. And did anybody have any questions or comments for us? Maybe questions or comments. And while you guys think about that, feel free to, put on your camera and let us know that you want to share something, either a question or a comment. And then I just wanted to leave with everybody. I know we talked about the website, the Self-Advocacy Association website. It's the SANYS.org. It's great to have people around us and supporting us and advocating with us, right? But it's really important to be our own best self-advocate. Yeah. And having all that support around us and helping us to do that. That's great. And then.
Thank you. And self-advocacy is speaking up for ourselves and others. Sue will be putting the link in the chat to sign up for the weekly update if you would like to.
I'm going to take the PowerPoint down now so everybody can see everybody. And if anybody had anything more that they wanted to share, we have just a couple minutes left. So this is the time to do it. We love hearing from you.
Well, I just want to hop in here and say a big thank you to Alan and Sue for taking the time to introduce us to SANYS and all of the resources that are available to anyone who would like to join. So if you take a look, Sue has shared the link in the chat to be able to sign up for the weekly newsletter. So I would encourage everyone to click that link and get yourself signed up so that you can stay in the know of all things SANYS that is happening across the state. But we'll give everybody a second or two just to add any questions or comments. But otherwise, thank you so much, Sue and Alan, for taking the time to talk with everyone tonight.
You're welcome.
Thanks so much for having us. Yeah, Alan, thank you. Thank you
No
so
problem.
much for your personal experience today too. That was fantastic. I really appreciate it. And Taylor, thank you so much for having us.